Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to today's video where I am pairing two kind of unexpected eyeshadow palettes together to achieve this eye look. And I also wanted to talk to you about Natasha Denona eyeshadow palettes. I'm excited to introduce you guys to one of the newest palettes in my collection. I finally went and bought a brand that I have been eyeing for probably as long as I've been doing eyeshadow, which is like 3 years or so at this point. It's a brand that is higher end, more expensive, and I figured if I were to get a palette from this company, I would have to wait for a good deal because I don't have the kind of money to be going out and spending a bunch of money on a palette. I usually do more affordable palettes here and there. Anyway, I am finally trying Natasha Denona. Now this is the retro palette. This is the one that I was eyeing over and over, back and forth, really interested in this palette. All of the content creators that I watch here on the YouTube platform say that this is one of their favorite Natasha Denona palettes, particularly the people who love colorful eyeshadow. I know her I Need a Nude is really popular among people who love neutral eyeshadow, and honestly, I'm kind of tempted by that one too. It's just, I have tried this once, I have played with it once, and it is very good quality. Like, very good. I know her Yucca palette is beautiful as well and has some of her newer shimmer formula like I Need a Nude. I am probably not going to get Yucca because more than less of the matte tones are very, very yellow based, which I think is beautiful and fun and kind of grungy and swampy, but they're not the best colors on me. It's not that I don't use those colors, it's just that I don't think it's wise to have a palette which is largely comprised of that undertone when I should have a palette, like a green palette, that has maybe those colors as a few accent points, but is not the whole thing. Anyway, I've heard the Yucca palette is amazing as well. So here is the retro palette, and I got this secondhand. I don't remember how much I paid. I think I paid like $20 or $25 for it. It was significantly less than half off the regular price. And I have used it once, and I was really pleased with how it performed for me. The formula is beautiful. I was a bit concerned about the cream to powder formula from Natasha Denona, but Anja Kniekvist and I Am Jamila, they both said that it's kind of more like the Udenzai matte formula, which is where it is grippy, but then it's easy to buff away and blend out. And that's actually how I enjoy working with mattes anyway, so I wasn't as uncertain about trying it. But today I want to combine this with another palette. I think I want to use some of these more neutral, peachy leaning kinds of mattes, and I want to pair them with the Serenity palette from Cosmic Beauty. Initially, I was going to do a purple look with the gold shimmer, but I think I want to do something a bit different. It's actually inspired by something Angie did recently. I think I'm going to put the purples on the lower lash line, and I'm not sure about the gold shimmer. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I will prime my eyes first by using the Glamlight Icing Primer. Everything that I'm using is linked in the description box. So let's go and talk about some palettes that I considered before finally purchasing the retro. So first I'm going to start with Vivian. Let's just kind of put this everywhere. When I was looking to buy this kind of color story, there were several palettes that I considered. And I just kept coming back to Natasha Denona Retro. And because I wanted to try the brand, that one was sort of living in my mind, like I really would like to try the Natasha Denona formula, and this is the palette which speaks to me the most. And I was looking for like pinky, mauvey, slightly more neutral leaning kinds of tones in my next palette purchase. So some of the other ones that I was considering were the ColourPop by the Rosé and En Point, which I think is actually pronounced En Point, Petals En Point, technically. I think that's the French pronunciation. I thought about those, and I thought the color stories were lovely, and I also kind of like the packaging. The packaging's cute, but at the end of the day, they were ColourPop, and I have gotten rid of almost all of my ColourPop. I just don't love their formula the way that I used to. I simply have formulas which excite me more. Look at how beautiful this is. It's a slight, like a slight blush tone on my skin tone. It's a nice light blush. It's just really smooth and creamy, and it's beautiful. I'm going to deepen it a little bit now with Amara. And again, I don't know which ones of these shadows are the cream to powder, but because of the way that I use my mattes, I'm not really having any issues with any of them. They build beautifully. They build like it's their job. It's what they do. They're experts in their field. They build beautifully. Some of the other palettes that I considered when, again, I was searching for this kind of color story were from Sigma. I looked at the Cor de Rosa. I went back and forth on that one a lot too. The Cor de Rosa and Now I'm going to pick up Go-Go. Go-Go? Yeah, just a little bit warmer, I think, and mix it right here. I looked at Corte Rosa and I looked at the new Mod. And one or two of those are also available in smaller versions, like the mini. And I figured price-wise, maybe that would be the way for me to go, because at this point I'm not pulling money out of my bank account for eyeshadow. It's just I've sold something and now I have a balance in Poshmark or Mercari. So whatever I get has to be within that balance, including shipping and taxes and whatnot. So I figured, well, maybe I should get a smaller, like one of the minis from Sigma. But at the end of the day, I just remembered that I didn't love the Sigma formula either. I had Untamed and I had the Alice in Wonderland palette, and they were really good. They were good. They were lovely. I just didn't enjoy working with it, honestly. I think that the Sigma mattes are they buff out too easily. I just didn't love them. Now I'm going into Serenity. I want to take the shade Ether. I'm going to load this on my brush, but I'm not going to spray it. I want to see how it performs dry. I don't want it to be too dark. Anyway, so I opted not to get the Sigma palettes mainly because of the formula. I also don't love the reflective nature, like how shiny the inner packaging is. It throws me off, and I feel that it detracts from the shadows themselves. Like, it's hard for me to see what the real colors are, the true undertones and depth and whatnot, when the packaging is very shiny around them. And I had the same problem with BH Cosmetics. Some of their palettes had the most shiny inner packaging. It was reflective or holographic, and it was so distracting. I had a lot of trouble seeing what the shadows were and really enjoying the experience of working with some of the BH palettes. All right, this is pretty. I'm gonna use my finger. That's gonna give me a bit more shine. So Corte Rosa and, what was the other one I said? New Mod. Corte Rosa and New Mod. I opted not to get them, mainly for the formula, but partially for the packaging. And I envisioned myself holding them and owning them and having them on my shelf with my other palettes. And I realized that I probably would not reach for them. And it's really amazing to me how one or two little details can make you not want to buy the palette. Okay, let's do the lower lash line, and I might deepen the outer corner. Maybe I'll do that now. Should I do that now? Let me deepen the outer corner just a little bit. I'll take the black in the Serenity palette. It's called Mystical. Now I'm just going to deepen this outer area because I like the contrast. And I'm trying to think. Oh yes, I also considered when I finally said, okay, Rachel, you want to try Natasha Denona. Just wait for a Natasha Denona deal to come along. So I did. I waited for quite a while, and I kept thinking maybe I'll get the Love palette. But I opted not to get that one either because I just don't use pinks that much. I just don't. As time goes on, I find that I might like a pink look, but I don't personally like to wear a pink look. The Love palette looks nice, and again, it's pretty well reviewed by the people that I watch and who enjoy colorful eyeshadow. It's also, though, I think a bit of an older formulation, and I don't know where retro stands in the timeline of Natasha's releases, but I was just more drawn to the retro palette. I just was. Now let's do the lower lash line. Of course, I'm going to go light to dark, starting with Make a Wish with a very small blending brush. My original plan for today's look was to do a pretty purple heavy lid and then deepen with black in the outer corner. But I wanted to make it a bit more interesting. Now into Pixie. And I haven't used the Serenity palette in a while, but I also wanted to show you guys the Natasha palette. So that's why I decided to do what I'm doing. And a smudger brush into Mystical. Just for the outer corner of the lower lash line. I think that's it. It's not exactly as warm in the crease as my inspiration, but I really wanted to use retro. And this is where we are. So I'm going to go off camera and do the other side. I'll be right back. So I will say that the more I use my Natasha Denona palette, the more I understand the hype. The formula is really, really beautiful. And honestly, the more I use the retro palette, the more I think maybe I do want to pick up I Need a Nude at some point, because I kind of want to have a staple neutral palette. No colors, actually. I just want a neutral palette. And I think that that one, like I said, the the formula that I've tried in retro is excellent. And I know that I Need a Nude is even more loved than retro for the, you know, for people who just love neutral eyeshadow in general. But it also, I believe, has the newest shimmer formula, so hyper sparkly, not metallic or wet or oily. We'll see. We'll see. Let me tell you what I did to finish off this look, which, by the way, absolutely love. In my waterline, I put a blue, this is Icebreaker from ColourPop. I did do a slight wing in the outer corner and I lined my upper lashes, but I didn't do an inner wing. And that reminds me, I did put a spot of gold, the gold shade from Serenity. I think it's called Odyssey. I put that at my inner corners. I meant to mention that before, and that was actually my original my original plan, but when I finished up this eye, I had forgotten about it. So I did put gold on the inner corner, as you can probably see, and it's lovely. I have mascara on, and then for my lips, I'm wearing the lip liner from Italia Deluxe 1052 Natural Beige, and I topped it with NYX Butter Gloss Bit of Honey. That's everything. No, that's not everything. That's not everything. I have this blush from ColourPop. It is the shade Matchmaker. It's really basically my skin tone. Really, I'm just deepening up in a little bit. And then Aurora Glow Kit from Anastasia Beverly Hills. I used this one, Spectra, as a very light purple highlighter. Now that's everything, and I think it's lovely. I really like this look. I think that my last several looks have been either super extreme or just really unexciting. I have not been excited about a lot of my looks recently. I was excited about that really bright neon-y yellow one where I was recreating a look that I saw on Instagram, but that look was like way over the top, you know. Aside from that, I haven't actually been super excited or just loving my looks lately. I think they're pretty. I just haven't felt stimulated. And I think that this look kind of scratches that itch. It's kind of neutral-ish, but with a pop of color, and enough color that it's not really a neutral look. It's definitely purple, but it's got a hint of more neutral tones up here, and I think that the formulas worked together beautifully. It's a lovely, soft, feminine kind of look. It's not wild and out there. It's not super bold or wild or crazy or in your face. It's just what I'm feeling right now, and I think it's lovely. I would love to hear your thoughts, of course, and I would also love to know if you have any Natasha Denona palettes and how you would rank them. You know, is it a matter of the older ones don't perform as well as the newer ones? But I know on the whole her formula in general is well reviewed. I'm really enjoying mine, so much so that I'm considering getting another one from the brand. I don't know. We'll see how things go. Thank you so much for being here today. I hope you have enjoyed this look. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments about Natasha Denona, about Cosmic Beauty, about this eyeshadow look. Whatever you want to talk about, I am here for it. And I hope that you'll consider liking and subscribing before you go. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.